Hey guys, how you doing? Sean Bardo here, Sea Gear Marine, back in the rope room, and today we're talking hookers. Get your mind out of the gutter because we're talking about anchoring. And if you want to be a good hooker, you got to follow some certain rules. So the first thing you do is have an anchor. Now anchor, there's many different types. You have your standard type anchor, there's plow anchors, claw anchors, mantis anchors, there's a bunch of different ones. But either way, they all come to the same end of getting your boat to stop in a certain place. So we've all been out there and seen somebody break free and they were doing things wrong. So there's a couple key principles to doing this right. So first, pick the right anchor for your boat. They do size these for your boat. Usually I go a little bigger. If you can fit it, it's worthwhile. But we just have a small one here for show. So this is like a 4-pound anchor. So you have your stock, you have your flukes, you have your shank. Now, the whole point of the anchoring is to get your flukes to dig in. You want to keep your shank nice and flat. So in order to do that, you got to have chain. Now, chain, there's a million different types, a million different sizes. So today, I'm going to show you a difference in just one. So we have what's called a 1/4 inch. Again, chain, they go by the bar thickness. So they go by the bar thickness because there's different sizes of chain. This is what's called ISO link. It's a short link. You get more lengths per foot. This is NACM link. This is your standard link. It's less length per foot. This weighs 1/2 pound in 4 links. This weighs 1/4 pound. So you get twice the weight in this chain. It does cost more, but you can use a shorter length. So if you're going to use 10 foot of this, to get the same amount of weight, you need 20 feet of this. And why is that critical? Because that's what keeps your shank down. So if you don't have enough chain or enough scope, which we'll get into too, your anchor's not going to be like this. Your anchor's going to be coming up because you get a little wave surge. Then your anchor's just going to be skipping on top of the ground, and your boat's going to move. And you might get lucky, it might reset, or you might be in drumfish season out in the bay and end up going into the guy behind you or in front of you, or whatever way the tide's running. So you got your chain, you got your anchor, you got your rope. Rope, there's a bunch of different theories on scope. To me, a nice day, 3 to 1. A little sloppy day, 5 to 1. It starts getting Larry shouldn't be out there, maybe 10, 12 to 1. And when I say this, it's a ratio. So if you're in 10 foot of water on a nice day, you want 30 feet of rope out. That way there's a nice even rise to your rope and your chain is not pulling the shank and getting the anchor to come up. So scope, chain, anchor. The only other thing really, change of tide. So the tide changes. I've been out in the bay catching drums, season's coming up, gnats are gonna bite. You gotta go out there, you're gonna set up on the hook, and 9 out of 10 times you're gonna be out there. You're gonna be out there long enough, the tide's gonna change. And you'll notice every boat around you isn't going the same direction where they start floating, it's slack tide. Then the tide changes. Well, you gotta think about where your anchor is. So your anchor's here, your boat's over that way. All of a sudden the tide changes, after slack, all of a sudden your boat's this way. So what's gonna happen? Either your anchor's gonna pull out and reset itself, which good luck, maybe it'll happen. If your anchor's really set, you're going to bend your shank and have to buy a new anchor or heat it up and try to bend it back. Or you're going to pick up and reset your anchor. But, I mean, it's one of those things, it's just something to keep an eye on because you don't want to break free. You don't want to go into the guy next to you. You want to be a good hooker. And to be a good hooker, you got to follow a couple of good rules. So, just a little tip here from Sea Gear. Sean Bardo, give us a share, give us a like, check out our YouTube page, seagearmarine.com. Guys, go out there. Be good hookers. Get it done.